The Lean Startup Introduction. Stop me if you heard this one before. Brilliant college kids sitting in a dorm are inventing the future, heedless of boundaries, possessors of new technologies, and youthful enthusiasm. They built a new company from scratch. Their early success allows them to raise money and brings an amazing new product to market. They hire their friends, assemble a superstar team, and dare the world to stop them. 10 years and several startups ago, that was me. Building my first company, I particularly remember a moment from back then. The moment I realized my company was going to fail. My co-founder and I were at our wit ends. The dot-com bubble had burst and we had spent all our money. We tried desperately to raise more capital and we could not. It was like a breaking up scenes from a Hollywood movie. It was raining and we were arguing in the street. We couldn't even agree on where to walk next, and so we parted with in anger, heading in opposite directions. As a metaphor for our company failure, this image of the two of us lost in the rain and tripping apart is perfect. It remains a painful memory. The company limped along for months afterward, but our situation was hopeless. At the time, it had seemed we were doing everything right. We had a great product, a brilliant team, amazing technology, and the right idea at the right time. And we really was on to something. We were building a way for college kids to create online profiles for the purpose of sharing with employers. Oops. But despite a promising idea, we were nonetheless doomed from day one because we did not know the process we would need to use to turn our products inside into a great company. If you never experienced a failure like this, it is hard to describe the feeling. It's as if the world were falling out from under you. You realize you've been duped. The story in the magazine are lies. Hard work and perseverance don't lead to success. Even worse, the many, many, many promises you make to employees, friends, and family are not going to come true. Everyone who thought you were foolish for stepping out on your own will be proven right. It wasn't supporting to turn out that way. In magazine and newspaper, in blockbuster movie, and on countless blogs, we hear the mantra of the successful entrepreneurs through determination, brilliance, great timing, and above all, a great product. You too can achieve fame and fortune. There is a myth making industry hard at work to sell us that story, but I have to come to believe that the story is false, the product of selection bias and after the fact rationalization. In fact, having worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs, have seen firsthand how often a promising start leads to failure. The grim reality is that most startups fail. Most new products are not successful. Most new ventures do not live up to their potential. Yet the story of perseverance, creative genius, and hard work persists. Why is it so popular? I think there is something deeply appealing about this modern day rag to riches story. It makes success seem inevitable if you just have the right stuff. It means that the mundane details, the boring stuff, the small individual choices don't matter. If we build it, they will come. When we fail, as so many of us do, we have the really make excuse. We didn't have the right stuff. We weren't visionary enough or weren't in the right place at the right time. After more than 10 years as an entrepreneur, I came to reject that line of thinking. I have learned from both of my own successes and failures and those of many others that is the boring stuff that matter the most. Startup success is not a consequence of good genes or being in the right place at the right time. Startup success can be engineered by following the right process, which means it can be learned, it means it can be taught. Entrepreneurship is kind of management. No, you didn't read that wrong. We have widely divergent association with these two words, entrepreneurship and management. Lately, it seems that one is cool, innovative, and exciting, and the other is dull, serious, and blank. It is time to look past these preconceptions. Let me tell you a second startup story. It's 2004, and a group of founders have just started a new company. Their previous company has failed very publicly. Their credibility is at an all-time low. They have a huge vision to change the way people communicate by using a new technology called avatars. Remember, this was before James Cameron blockbuster movie. They are following a visionary named Will Harvey who painted compelling pictures. People connecting with their friends, hanging out online, using avatar to give them a combination of intimate intimate connection and safe anonymity. Even better, instead of having to build all of the clothing, furniture, and accessory, these avatars would need to accessorize their digital lives. The customer would be enlisted to build those things and sell them to one another. The engineer challenge before them is immersed, creating the virtual world, user generated content, and online commerce engine, micropayment, and last but not least, the three-dimensional avatar technology that can run on any one PC. I'm in this second story too. I'm a co-founder and a chief technology officer of this company, which is called IMVU. At this point in our careers, my co-founders and I are determined to make new mistakes. We do everything wrong instead of spending years perfecting our technology. We build a minimum viable product, an early product that is terrible, full of bugs, and crash your computer. Yes, really, stability problem. Then we ship to customer way before it's ready, and we charge money for it. After securing initial customer, we charge the product constantly, much too fast by traditional standards. Shipping new version of our product dozens of times every single day. We really did have customer in those early days through visionary early adopters, and we often talk to them and ask for their feedback. But we emphatically did not do what they say. We view their input as only one source of information about our products and overall vision. In fact, we were much more likely to run experience on our customer than we were to cater to their whims. Traditional business thinking saying that this approach shouldn't work, but it does, and you don't have to take my word for this. As you see throughout this book, the approach we pioneers as IMVU has become the basis of a new movement of entrepreneurs around the world. It's built on many previous management and products developments ideas, including lean manufacturing, design thinking, customer development, and the augurs of development. It represents a new approach to create continuous innovation. It's called the lean startup. Despite the volume written on business strategies, the key attribute of business leaders and way to identify the next big thing, innovators still struggle to bring their idea to life. This was the frustration that led us to try radical new approach at IMVU, one characterized by an extremely fast cycle time, a focus on what customer want without asking them, and a scientific approach to making decisions.